Hey guys, I have a very cool video about health and looking young, feeling young, longevity. And I'm gonna tell you what the basis or the basics are that you should be doing every day. So it starts, let me see. It starts with, it starts with, let me just get the sound right. Okay. It starts with when you wake up, the first thing that you should do is drink 3 liters of structured water. By structured water, I mean it could be a celery juice, it could be, but ideally it will be a herbal tea. Let's say ginger, for example, but not a strong ginger, just 2-3 slices, and try to get before noon. Try to get 3 liters in your system, but structured water, not just water. So a structure could also be, for example, sea salt, virgin sea salt, mineralized water, Himalaya sea salt, mineralized water, but or just like I said, like a very soft herbal tea, chamomile or something like that. Or I have a dandelion. Dandelion is great. And so before noon, and ideally you already have 2 liters before you have your first food. So you're flushing your system with structured water in the morning before you even get to food. And now comes the interesting thing. To understand the basics, you have to understand it is garbage in, garbage out, or volume in, volume out. The idea is basically the more you put in terms of like garbage, and you don't do anything to process it, to get it out, and it accumulates in your body, that's where the problems begin. They're not immediately evident, but they could become more evident over time. And I want to really hit this point home, to really make it super clear that what it needs is the body must receive less garbage in and more garbage out, and that's where the healing starts. Okay, so for some people it might be fasting, water fasting, but that's an extreme form, like if you do several days for water fasting. But it's not 100% necessary if you keep up, because that's what you're actually doing during fasting. Of course you have not atrophy, the esophagy, or what is it called, like when it kills the old cells, and then you have the immune system reset after 72 hours. Those are added benefits, but what's actually happening is that you don't put in garbage in your system, but you're activating the releasing of garbage, because the more water you drink, structured water, the more ability the body has to release that energy. Now, I as an energy healer, I talk a lot about releasing traumas, releasing energy blockages, for that healing to happen as well, because the more traumatized you have the energy field, the more dense it is, the less prana, chi can flow through it. So the life energy force is not reaching certain areas, and that's how it becomes diseased. But without water, without ability to release toxins, even that trauma release will not be enough. In fact, it might play into each other. So without the water, without the trauma release, it just gets brutal, and that's where the body can't handle it anymore. So what I'm suggesting is increase the transportation medium to get stuff out, bad emotions and bad toxins, which is structured water. And the second thing, and start right in the morning when the whole system can get flushed, and then eat less, much less than you've been before, which is a challenge, but you can compensate that with the water, and use the water for the intermittent fasting. So you're making huge breaks where you don't eat, but you're compensating that with structured water. And then and here comes the last part to it, when you eat, it must be super like high quality protein with good fats and enough carbohydrates, to get through the day. But you can also go on keto if you really want to. But for example, the typical kind of diet that's going around right now, which is like avocado with meat or eggs, those kind of like that's fish, omega-3, those are good. But for example, if you eat steak, you have to eat much less. So for example, just 3 or 4 bites of a steak would be fine. The moment you eat something that you're like saturated, it's too much, because steak is highly it like taxes your system a lot, and it clogs your intestines. And the problem with the gut is that if your gut is constantly clogged by too much you eat, harsh things you eat, dry things you eat, etc., and you don't drink enough, over time this wears down the gut more and more. So leaky gut comes, and the only way to go back to it is eat less, eat targeted, much smaller, like digestible things, and drink a lot more. And that is basically the way to heal your gut, and that's the way to heal your body, because it always starts with the gut and the stomach. And most people make the mistake, because they have the possibility to constantly eat, that they're eating way too much and drinking too little and drinking the wrong thing. So that's kind of like the basis of healing. You want to do the energy healing as well. And yeah, that's just like, I wanted to give you like a positive way to see it, and a simple thing to understand it. So garbage in, no medium for transportation in, system overburdened, cannot heal itself, cannot transport. That's also the reason why sauna is so healthy. Like when they say, if you use the sauna, you get less probability, for other types of diseases, especially cardiovascular. It's because, like I said, the sweat, the water, is a medium of transport to get toxins out. That's the reason. It's not just that the tissue becomes less dense because and the arteries softer and stuff like that, but it's literally the fact that you're sweating the stuff out. So that's my advice to you, and it takes a little bit of discipline, because it's a change. Like, and if you in the morning drink cold water, everything contracts and your system changes. Do like lukewarm or warm teas, ginger, chamomile, dandelion, drink plenty of it, like the 2 liters, then eat, and then another liter, and you're basically done for the day. And then the extra supplements that you take, those can be like added on. Like if you take I don't know, a multivitamin, or you take like asparagus or extract, or haritaki, or or maca, or whatever, those are like added benefits. But if you don't do the other 2 things, like reduce the food, improve the food, and increase the structured water, then the system just doesn't have the building materials to work with everything. And some people might not agree with this, but it's because we're different from person to person, in the sense like some people can stay longer with bad choices, and the body doesn't immediately show it. Sometimes for the one person might take 2 years, for the other person might take 20 years, but eventually gets to the point where the system has been abused too much, and you need to give it room for it to be able to heal itself.